Fenecia, so good
Hello.
to see you.
Nice to see you, Genessa.
So here we are, episode 2, Chicks, No Dicks. And we've been talking about how maybe we should clarify that for the audience, right?
It's fair.
That that it's not that men are not welcome here. We love men and everybody's welcome. All we're saying is that don't show up as a dick. Don't show us your dick. Keep your dick in your pants. Don't be dickish when you're talking. This is a space for women and very feminist oriented men. We know you're out there. We know you're out there to talk about football and politics.
Fair.
That's right.
Yes.
So let's dig in. We had an exciting football weekend last weekend, and we got big games this weekend.
Huge games. Huge games.
So we can kind of skip over the Texans Chiefs. Stroud played well.
He did a great job. I think his O-line gave up on him after a while, but he really did. He tried. And then obviously they were also playing against the refs. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that is something, is that like in our imagination, or is that really happening that the refs favor
No,
the?
no, it's not. I should have looked up the ref's name that officiates the Chiefs games, but they have a designated referee. They do. Yeah. And
Yeah,
any touches patches Patrick Mahomes automatically foul. Pass, interference, rough, personal fouls, unnecessary roughness, anybody. So
I mean, the other thing about that is like Patrick Mahomes tries to get penalties called.
yeah, he does,
He's
obviously.
kind of a wiener.
Yeah. You ever watch basketball where they go up for the foul and they're all dramatic and throw their arms just to get it caught? That's Patrick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you said it best afterwards. Like they're like Trump's team.
They are.
Yeah, if you're on Trump's team, you're on Trump's team. But if you're not, boo,
Mhm.
boo. All right. Then there was the most devastating
I'm
game.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, it's not, I'm not sad. I mean, it's not my team. I'm sad for them. It was devastating for America. I think everybody expected the Lions to win.
Oh my gosh, the Lions. Yeah. Okay, so let's give it up for the Commanders. Daniels
Okay.
did a great job.
Yeah,
Okay. They
amazing.
played well. They played well. They played to the best of their abilities. Their head was in the game. Goff, though, interception after interception after
Yeah, they
interception.
melted. They melted.
And then I was watching the highlights. I don't know what little move they were trying to make, but Goff passed it to I think like Williams, and then Williams threw an interception. It's like, what are you guys out there doing?
Yeah,
They've had to
not
switch
not
quarterbacks.
yeah, not then. You don't do that then.
No,
You do that when you're up by 25 points.
exactly,
Yeah, that was
exactly.
weird. And also that they didn't call timeout when they had 12 defensive players on the field. I mean, they could have
Why?
stopped them. I don't
Why?
know. I mean, all I can say is that the Commanders better go all the way.
I don't see it happening, Janessa. I am sorry. I do not see it happening. I don't.
I
Six.
don't know. They're playing with fury. I don't want them to win the Super Bowl. I want them to play the Bills in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but the reality is the Commanders are doing great, but Daniels is winning because he's having fun. He's a rookie. He has that energy, but
Yeah.
he's playing against a vet. The Eagles been to the Super Bowl. They know how they understand the pressure. They've been to the NFC championship, division game. They've been here before and they know exactly what to do. And now they have Barkley. Did you see that touchdown he made in the snow? Like he was running as if there was no snow on the field. Like, they're not going to be able to stop that man.
Yeah,
It's up for MVP too. Like, come on.
it's so funny because I'm looking at the scores that we predicted for the Commanders Lions. 44-21. That was supposed to be the Lions, but I think it was 45-28.
Was it?
Yeah. Well,
Jeez.
you had the Lions getting 28.
So yeah. Yeah, but who did I have the Commanders for then?
Yeah, 21. I mean, nobody in their right mind thought the Commanders were going to
No.
win. I mean, my brother texted me afterwards and he was like, whoever bet on the Commanders, I'm opposed to gambling personally, but whoever bet on the Commanders made bank. And there was some schmo out there who was like, I love this team, put everything on it.
And he won everything too.
Oh, yeah.
He won everything.
Yeah. Oh, I hear my puppies. All right. So now we can go to the next heartbreak, which was the Rams Eagles. Man, they should have done it. Oh, wait, before we go there, can I say one last thing about the
What?
Lions losing? Well, first of all, Dan Campbell crying is very
Oh,
sad to see.
yeah.
Like, that's just like he was crying before the game was over. He was just like dismayed. But, when the Seahawks lost on the 1 yard line, thank you, Russell Wilson, and probably Pete Carroll and whoever was our offensive coordinator then, whose name has left me forever. And you didn't give the ball to Marshawn like that. We're still crushed. We still talk about it like it happened yesterday. Like our whole city went dark. Like there was not, like nobody came outside the next day. Nobody. It was like we all died. And that's how the Lions must have felt.
Yeah,
That was shock and dismay.
yeah. They were 15 too,
Yeah.
and to be the
Oh,
what
hi.
hi.
Hi, I have dogs.
Hi, doggy. Weren't they the number one seed in their division?
Oh, yeah. That's so
Yeah.
sad.
Not, yeah.
To be the first the to have the first seed like that is just so sad.
No, I hate to say this though, when they were playing the Vikings for the number one seed, they didn't play that great as well. And I am not shocked. I will be honest with you. No one saw it coming, but I'm not like appalled, like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what's been going on with them. Golf haven't been really into the game, honestly. I don't know if it's like personal, something else, or too much pressure because they never been to a championship before. Maybe the pressure got to them and they just
But
weren't able
he
to.
has, Goff has,
He has, but
as
the
a
distraction
Ram.
to carry a city like, listen, I'm from Buffalo, so to
Yeah.
carry a city on your back that's never been to Super Bowl, that's heck of pressure, Jeanette.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure.
I'm just curious about what would shock you because you weren't shocked about Kamala.
No,
You're not shocked about, I
no, shocked.
honestly shocked about both because something's wrong with me. I live in a fictitious reality.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. No, I was expecting the Lions to put more pressure to play, give it their all when they were playing the Vikings. And even the Vikings, I was so upset with them. I'm not surprised they aren't playing. But
Yeah.
there's the interceptions, those terrible, like you are the head quarterback. How are you throwing all these picks like this? Like, come
I
on.
don't know. I mean, that's why we hate Gino. He's number one in interceptions. He's number
Yeah.
one somewhere. That's why
Yeah.
we don't
Oh,
want him back.
turnovers.
Like when you're throwing picks in the end zone, like you are working for 7 minutes to get down the field and then you throw a pick.
And you know how, if I were the players, like if I was on his O line, I would be so upset. You mean I got banged up like this? I'm getting
Yeah.
knocked left to right, and for us not to go anywhere,
Yeah.
throw in the towel. Throw in the towel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
devastating.
Well, then the Rams, they had a chance.
It it was the snow. I can honestly say that. I watched the highlights, and it was up until fourth quarter. They had two turnovers. They tried to come back at the end with a touchdown, but they just couldn't keep
Well,
up
I
with the
mean,
Eagles.
so here's the thing. They made two bad decisions.
Yeah.
One is 3rd and 2 in the
Mm.
run, and everybody knows that. Everybody said that. Like, why would you throw the ball? Because then he got no, Stafford got tackled.
Mhm.
And it was 4th and 11. And who was he throwing to? He threw it out of bounds.
Hmm.
But had they run it, you never know. And then completed it, like they were there. That
Yeah.
was a comeback. And
Even if
and
they put the
and
converts.
the Phillies kicker is bad.
Horrible. Oh my gosh. Terrible. Like, But you know what? These
Kind of
kickers
have to,
here
you
in
kind of have
general,
to,
are bad.
you kind of have to wonder about the Commanders kicker too, Gonzalez.
Yeah.
He may
Oh
not be good
gosh. So did you see him the game before? Who were they? We
with his
talked.
hair.
Yeah, and he was just like adjusting his socks the whole time, taking his shoes off like multiple times, took his helmet off multiple times because he knew he was going to mess up. He knew it.
He didn't, but he was nervous. That was
So
hysterical.
nervous. Again, the pressure. That's why I don't think the Commanders are going to beat the Eagles. Too much pressure. And it's going to come down to field goals like that. It's definitely going to come down to field goals. And there's too much pressure. They're going to need another kicker, or they're going to have to make sure that they run through the Eagles. And I don't see that happening.
I
So
can't wait to see what happens. I'm rooting Commanders. All right. Now we got the biggie. Were you dying?
So let me tell you, that Sunday morning, I went to church.
Right.
I went to church with my grandfather. The pastor was like, I know your focus right now is on the Bills game, but I need to be focused on God. I'm like, God, I'm sorry. Just please let the Bills win. And I promise next week, well, the week after, I'll focus on you.
Yeah.
I had people talking a whole bunch of junk. I said, I'm going to church. I'm putting in God's hand, the football God's hands. I put it in her hands. Watching the game, it was so like we did a great job first half, which is surprising because the Bills
Yeah.
played, we deliver in the second half. So we did a great job. We did exactly
Yeah.
what we used to do. We played a seamless, perfect game. We
Yeah.
messed up the third quarter. We didn't score anything. But
Mm-mm.
when Genessa was up to kick for 51 yards, you should have saw the whole house. Like all my friends was like, no, 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 God, please, no, no, no. We were all on edge. And then he scored. We was like, oh my gosh, we knew we won right then and there. We knew we won right then and there. If Bass can kick and convert, we got it. He got it. But there's a
I
lot
mean,
of
the
talk like
Ravens are good.
they are good. But let me tell you, and I don't want to quote him. I'm going to indirectly quote him. I'm going to paraphrase, and I know you don't like the air quotations, but Brady said himself, the best team won by not losing.
Yeah.
He played Lamar interception. He got sacked,
Yeah.
turnovers.
Yeah.
We kept them even in the red zone. We kept them at field goal range. Which is our defense? Like our defense was made for that. We stopped
Yeah.
Henry. I believe Henry only had 89 yards.
That was
Did it
amazing.
with us. Compared to the Steelers, he had 189 yards. We played our part. Even though
Yeah.
they're a great team, they weren't ready. They weren't
Yeah.
sure if the snow, if it was cold, the ball was slippery. They weren't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody was mad about Anderson dropping that pass and the 2-point conversion. He dropped a pass before, which caused a turnover. So he
Yeah.
was playing great the whole game, like I
Yeah.
think it's like
Yeah.
50% catch rate or something. I don't know, but we put pressure on them and we delivered. It's
But
no
that drop pass, you must have just been out of your head.
We lost our minds. Do you hear me? Like my friends, because I stood up, I was standing right there at the TV, I was at the corner, and everyone, they was like, no, he caught the ball. And once they saw the ball came out, Janessa, I think we screamed for like a minute straight for like the rest of the game because we knew it was over from there. We knew it was over. He's like, oh, thank you,
I
God.
want to see if we made a prediction. Nope, no prediction. It
Oh,
was
I couldn't.
too superstitious. Okay, well, so you think the Eagles are going to win? I think the
Yes.
Commanders are going to eke it out. We'll see. I don't know. What do I know? Um, whoever I root for usually loses, which is really devastating to be
I
me.
don't root for KC though.
Oh God, never.
Just don't.
That's going to be a good game. I
Heck of a
think the
game.
Bills got it.
I'm going to church again Sunday.
I'm going to go to church too. I'm going to go to synagogue tomorrow night, and then we're square.
Please, please,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. All right. So I do have to say one thing political.
All right.
It's good. I can't decide how much to pay attention to because it's so friggin' crushing. But I do want to say this. If anybody ever listens to our show, great. But between just us humans, there is something so devastating going on. He took Lyndon Johnson's equal right, whatever it is, the Equality Act. I'm going to get this all wrong. Law passed in 1965 and just it's gone today. Like whatever, like, we were warned that he had dictatorial fantasies. We know that they're Nazis, neo-Nazis. He's
Yeah.
all these criminals out on the street.
Yes.
I mean, just the worst people. And I am just like, what is wrong with these elected GOPs? They
Yeah.
either have something over them, the mob has something on them
Yeah.
that's so crushing, like Lindsey Graham has a butt boy and a dick boy, and he's like doing the grossest, most perverse things. Who knows? But that they allowed this passage of the new Secretary of Defense, who has no experience, has sexual abuse cases against him, who is an alcoholic, most likely. I mean, it's an addiction. He can get work, he can get help. Like,
Yeah.
they've turned it into the Department of Defense is now the rapey frat house.
Yeah.
The frat house you don't ever want to go to, because you are guaranteed they're going to put a roofie in your drink, and they're dumb. They're
Yeah.
failing out of school. Like, it's the worst. I just don't understand. I keep asking this question, like, why, if you have that much in your pockets, control, power, why don't you want to do good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what is that? Like, why do they want to hurt? This hurts. The majority of Americans are hurt by what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an illness. It's a
Yeah,
mental illness.
mental illness. So our country's mentally ill.
Our country is mentally ill.
And I guess the thing is that I don't want to be a downer about any of it. I just don't. But I'm like, so
Reality.
this is what I'm trying to balance. Like, how much I don't, I personally feel like I need to know what's going on,
Yeah.
because I think by looking away, things happen. And then, but I'm like, well, what do we do?
Yeah. Yeah. I told you I haven't been in the mental space for this. I'm trying to keep every little bit of joy that I have. I've been grieving this whole year.
Yeah.
I had a good friend who passed away. You know, she
Mm.
died by suicide. It would be a year tomorrow. And then the election, then the wildfires. So it's like I need a little glimpse of joy. And football has been helping me. You know,
Yeah.
that's been bringing me joy. It's just been great. But I've been saving every article, every post. I'm gonna go back to it, you know, and read everything. But to your point, you don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but the reality is, like, you see all these things are being rolled back, and these are things that put us to where we are now. What does our future look like in the next 10 years, or the generation that's behind us? What do we do? Where do we go from here? You know,
I'm
there,
so glad I don't have children. Like, whenever I see people that have babies, I'm like, wow, you are so optimistic.
yeah, yeah. And that's a whole nother topic for another episode. But yeah, that's true. You know, you cannot help but to think about, because we look at it, we look at when those laws were enacted, those like the time before that. So now we're looking at those that it might happen again in a different form, you know. Modern day slavery, discrimination, you know, think about the LGBTQ rights. So all those things, like, we don't have, our freedom is now taken away, you know. What do we do? How do we break all this? Where do we,
I
again, where
don't
do we
know. I mean, maybe we break away. I don't know. Like,
go?
I mean, all of the blue states support all of the red states,
Mm,
who are at the bottom of everything. All
yeah,
I can say is that the swamp is really full. It is the swampiest of swamps I've ever seen. And the Democrats, we have to get our act together. I don't want to be asked for money. I want to be told what to do.
yeah,
Stop asking me for money. Where's that money going? I mean, Elon Musk spent $44 billion to win the election. We spent $1 billion, but still, it's gross. It's absurd. Stop asking for money. If I get one more email, ask me for money, I
yeah,
just tell us what to do.
yeah,
Call people, do these things, show up here,
yeah,
help us
yeah,
win.
yeah.
Because we have like 21 months until another election.
There,
Actually, there's another one in Virginia before, so this year in Virginia. In November, there'll be an election. And then we have like 21 months before we can get the House. And we have work to do.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
until then, go Bills.
Go Bills. Yes, 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 yes. Go Bills.
All right, we're gonna figure out what happens next week.
Yes, fingers
All right.
crossed.
Come on, Bills. Come on, Commanders. Woo!
I'll take
All right.
command. All
I'm
right.
gonna stop recording.